Hello and welcome to the Enthusiast Garage. Welcome the new project, another BMW, but this time a motorcycle BMW. I'm very excited about this project, and especially because now I have a YouTube channel, so I'm going to be documenting it more, going through the whole process of restoring it, how I'm going to turn it into a cafe racer. This is not my first BMW bike, this is actually the third one. I've done a couple more before. The first one that I worked on was back in 2018. It was a 1985 BMW K100. And the whole cafe racer thing was still pretty recent. I only saw Ditz Tank from Instagram doing something like that, and I fell in love with the idea of turning an old BMW bike into something modern. So I tackled that project. It was a bike that's been sitting out in the barn for like 15 years. Rusted, tank looked disgusting on the inside. It was missing pieces, missing fairing. It wasn't a complete bike. I towed it here, and not this house, it was actually the older house. I towed it to my garage, and I started tinkering with it, trying to learn how the whole mechanic work in this bike. I remember the first time I ever turned it on was putting the fuel pump inside a mason jar just to test if the fuel pump gonna work. I got it to run, and then after I got it to run, I started stripping it down. I cut the frame, painted the seat, I painted the engine, the frame, and I started doing every single service you can think of on oil, all the fluids, brake pads, go through all the hoses. And it turned out pretty nice. I painted the tank. Tank was beautiful. I took it to a professional body shop for the tank. It was an Atlantic blue color. It's a BMW M color on that tank. And I really loved the way the bike turned out. That was the first bike. The second bike I wanted to go even more out with it. And it's pretty interesting. The second bike, I bought it all in boxes. The bike was not complete at all. It was literally in boxes. The story behind it, the guy wanted to change the rear main seal on it, and it was an older gentleman, and he just gave up on it, and he started parting it out. So he already took it all apart, down to the engine. He took out the engine apart, and he just wanted to part it out. And I told him, hey, if it's complete, I'll buy it all together if you have the title. And that's what I ended up doing. It was really one of the most difficult projects I ever worked on because everything was taken apart, and it was even worse than the Cougar. Like the Cougar had some bolts that were not labeled. This one, pretty much the whole bike was not labeled. So I started putting the engine back together. I put a new clutch pack, new rear main seal, and I started going through everything while I'm putting it back together, making sure it's new water pump, and the bike looked phenomenal. I changed the front fork, and I upgraded the front fork to an S1000RR front fork from a 2013 S1000RR. That gave the bike a more aggressive look, a lower stance on the front with the clip-ons. And that bike actually, I even took it to a Cars and Coffee event, and it won the best motorcycle at the Cars and Coffee. I still have the plaque. They gave me a plaque. I was really proud and happy of how that bike turned out, from getting parted out into one of the most beautiful bikes I have ever seen and winning an award at a Cars and Coffee. So I was really happy with it. And now we get to this bike. Honestly, I was done doing cafe racers because I've been there, done that. I took it from that zero to hero transformation. But as you guys can see, I had some pictures, I had some documentation of it, but not much. I really didn't go through it all the way. A lot of people told me you should make a YouTube channel for it and go through it, and I never did, even with a second bike. So here we are now. That's the plan with this one. So let me give you guys a story on this one. I got it from Facebook Market, of course, like everything else. This is a one-owner bike. So it's a 1993 BMW K1100. And the guy really took care of it. The owner really took care of it. Got 75,000 miles. I have all the service records. It's showing every year he used to go take it to the dealership. It's local here. And he kept up with it. But in 2010, I guess the guy moved or something, and he gave the bike to the guy I bought it from. Now I'm saying it's one owner because the guy I bought it from, he never touched that bike. He never even registered that bike. So it's been sitting since 2010. The guy said the last time he turned it on, 2010, it ran good, but he got some personal issues. He can't ride bikes anymore, and that's why it's been parked. So I figured I'll give it a new life. Now, in the previous two bikes I worked on, they were not complete. They were in boxes. They were junk bikes. So it was very justified to turn it into a cafe racer. This one, I am feeling kind of like guilty to take it all apart, but at the same time, it's not a perfect example because it does have some cracks. The paint on it is fading. The seat is need to be upholstered again. So it got 75,000 miles. It's not like a low mileage example to keep it in pristine condition. So that's why I am gonna go ahead, take it all apart. I'm gonna keep as much features as I can, like it got the heated grips. I'm gonna keep that. The ABS, I usually take out the ABS. I am gonna keep the ABS this time and just tackle it. So let's get to it. All right, so I'm gonna start working on the bike now. The new bike I got, it needed a battery, so I just picked up a new battery. I'm gonna put it on, crank it up, and see how it goes. All right, so I just connected the new battery. I connected the ECUs. There's two ECUs. And I'm gonna see if it cranks now, if I hear the fuel pump. The guy who I bought it from said he haven't turned it on in a while. It needs some work. He said to tow it. I asked, can I get a new battery? He said, even with that, I recommend you tow it. He said I need to drain the gas tank, but when I checked the gas tank, it didn't look like there's water in it. It's gas, maybe old gas. So we'll see how it goes. I think that's the aftermarket lights on the front. I don't hear the fuel pump priming. It's showing it's on second gear, but I know it's on neutral because I pushed it in. Yeah, the wheel is moving. So let me try to start and see what happens. All right, so I played around with the computers, moved them around. I still couldn't get it to start or react or even for the fuel pump to prime. And I think the main reason is it kept showing second gear, not neutral. And then I figured, let me drop it from the center stand and see. And as soon as I dropped it, put it on a side jack, it right away caught that it's on neutral. And the light, green light turned on here. So I think now we can probably get something. Yeah, here we go. Okay. I don't hear the fuel pump still. Let's take a look at the fuel pump, see if I can see anything. So I wanted to get the camera closer, show you guys inside the gas tank. So here's the fuel pump. And here's the fuel filter. And honestly, they don't look too bad. They look like they've been recently changed. It hasn't been too long. So I'm not sure why it's not priming. Maybe it is just a relay. Oh, that's that wire stripped. No, it's still good. Yeah, I'll do more diagnostic and see what happens. All right, so I pulled the fuel pump out. I tested the fuse. I am getting voltage to the fuse. I am getting voltage to those two wires. And still, when I try to turn it on, you hear it click, but it doesn't prime. So I have some alligator clips and I'm gonna connect it straight to the battery to see if I push 12 volt right on it, if it works, and same thing. Yeah. You can just hear it clicking, but it doesn't actually prime. So I'm gonna order a new fuel pump and see how it goes. All right, so the new fuel pump just came in. I got it from Amazon. I'll link it in the description box below. It's a quantum fuel system. And I really like this kit. I've purchased it before. It comes with a new fuel pump, the gasket that goes around the gas cap on top. It comes with a new vibration gasket and plastic compared to the old one, which is something you definitely need to replace. Actually, this one is not that bad condition. I've seen them worse where they are completely gone, the rubber on them. It comes with a new filter basket. Here's the older filter basket, completely gone. Inline fuel filter. They give you a plastic hose if you want to replace it. Replace the fuel hoses that comes with it. And new electrical connections if you want to crimp new one on. So I'm gonna put it in the bike now and see if I can turn it on. All right, so I just installed the fuel pump. Let me try to get an angle to show you guys. It's currently in. I did change this fuel hose right here. The old one was really bad. I changed the fuel filter as well. Here's the old filter. And let me show you guys the fuel line, the old one. The old one was really bad. It started cracking on me when I moved it around. Over here. So I have it in. It's time to see if it's gonna work. I did also change the gasket on the gas cap. And I greased it up, cleaned it up a bit. And now I wanna see if I can at least hear the fuel pump prime. So let's see. All right, it's priming now. Perfect. So let me close the gas cap and then try to start it. All right, moment of truth. It's running a bit rough, maybe because it haven't ran in a while. So it smells really bad too. That old gas smells really bad. All right, so this is it for this video. I'm happy with the progress. At least we got the bike to turn on. I changed the battery on it, changed the fuel pump on it. We heard it crank, we heard it turn on. It's not running great. There's a lot of diagnosis that I still need to do before I can take it all apart. I really want to make sure the engine is healthy before I strip it all up and start transforming it into a cafe racer. So the next step would be I just want to see the ignition on it. I want to see the timing because I'm even struggling to turn on the bike now. Like after I took that video of it where it was smoking a lot, the next day I tried to start it and I struggled to get it started. And there's something definitely wrong. There's a misfire or maybe bad injector, stuck injector. So next video, I'm gonna get down to it. I'm gonna see what's going on, try to get it running smoothly, maybe take it for a spin with the way it is, and then I'll start the process of taking it all apart and going from there. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.